All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on this snowy day in Wisconsin in April. Today's matchup for the first round of playoffs is going to be between Wilmot Union and Arrowhead High School. So as you can see, I got the school logos up there. Wilmot's going to be on the left, Arrowhead starting on the red side. They're using Pro Draft, so they've actually gone through and already done their picks and bans. So we're going to kind of see it in real time as these picks and bans come in. So right away, we're going to go ahead and see Wilmot banning out the Vlad. It's been a pretty popular top lane pick these days. Can also be flexed into the mid. Urgot is really OP right now. Urgot can be, again, another one that's flexed either into the top lane or onto the mid lane. So going to go ahead and see the Corky ban. The Arrowhead mid laner has been spamming a lot of Corky. And then we're going to go ahead and see a Zed ban as well. The Vayne ban as well coming out. That's another one that Arrowhead's ADC is very known for playing. I'm pretty familiar with the Arrowhead team. I traveled down with them 2 weeks ago to the Culver Stockton College Esports Invitational and saw them play down there and win down there. So, and then Arrowhead's going to go ahead and finish out with a Zac ban. So 2 seconds, I have to let the dogs out, but I'll be right back. Okay, I wonder what happened. Oh, must have been, so they picked something that wasn't on the picks and bans previously, so they had to back out of the lobby, so. I have a feeling that they're just going to remake, and it does look like they're just going to do a blind pick lobby. So they already know what bans are coming out. They know what to pick. So the rest of the bans that came out for Wilmot were Thresh and Nasus. So they accidentally picked the Thresh when they actually meant to ban it. So that's unfortunate. And then Arrowhead has also banned away Caitlyn and Jinx. So two late game hyper carries that we'll see coming out. Maybe they're going to remake the lobby, and it does look like that's what they're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and back out here real quick. So that way we can just go ahead and get this started underway. Playoffs are best of three. So this will be a best of three round. Other games going on today are going to be Bayport against Waterford. Milton was able to go ahead and get a first round win already. Horlick was unfortunately not able. They did not have enough eligible students in order to play. So they progress on to play Milton. Or Milton goes on to play Cedarburg, and Cedarburg may not be able to play their match either. So Milton may get a free ride to the semifinals due to Cedarburg having some students going on international travel for spring break. So unfortunate, but you know, there's no such thing as a perfect schedule. So we just all sometimes have to work with that. So, but I do think this would be a pretty good matchup. They've played already once this semester, and Wilmot actually came out on top. So we'll see if Wilmot is able to go ahead and do it again. So again, we're just going to go ahead and get right into the picks here then. Correct, yeah. Both of these teams, the winner of this game will actually go on to play Wausau West in the semifinals. And actually, as of right now, Arrowhead is just playing this game because of good sportsmanship from Wilmot. Arrowhead doesn't have an advisor that's able to travel this weekend, so even if they do win, they're not able to travel to Game On, which is really unfortunate. But so Wilmot may be getting to just progress for free. So, but again, 2 seconds here on the draft. I'd have to let the dogs back in. No, Danny, wait. Good boy. Sorry about that. So looking at kind of the team breakdowns here, I think Arrowhead is going for a pretty common thing right now in this current meta, and that is late game. That Kog'Maw, once it gets like the 3 items, gonna be huge, and then especially with the Lulu boost, basically gonna be able to just go ahead and shred down a lot. Looks like Wilmot's kind of gone for the Mundo top is interesting into the Darius, because I think the Darius is just going to be able to really shred that armor. So pre-6, I see Darius bullying Mundo quite a bit in lane. The Yasuo into Zoe I think makes sense. Yasuo is another one that even if you start in lane 0 and 4, and once you get that 2 to 3 items, you're going to start doing a lot of crit damage. Ezreal into the Kog'Maw can make sense. Yeah, Mundo did get some nice Q and E buffs, though. You're correct in that one. Ezreal, I haven't seen too much of how it's working, especially with since they've limited the tiers now. So I haven't seen too much of that. And I know in kind of they're doing the EU play-in games right now, so I haven't seen Ezreal come out too much in that, because they play just super weird meta picks and stuff like that. Ezreal does have looks like just under a 49% win rate, so that's still not terrible. I just think the Kog'Maw Lulu bot lane is really effective together. Mundo does win the matchup. Mundo into Darius. I mean, in the 1,300 matches, according to u.gg, Darius has like a 4% advantage. But that's also in the world. Well, if we look at NA, if we look at North America, Darius has a 56% win rate to the 44% win rate. Yeah, he can safely farm with his Q. There's no question on that one, but Darius is able to go ahead and wave clear quite a bit more than the Mundo, and is it going to be able to push him up under tower? So it's going to be, the jungle ganks are going to be relatively huge in this matchup. I like the Gragas jungle too, though. Yeah, jungle decides everything, right? Isn't that the current meme right now in meta, is the better jungler wins? And it's definitely a tank jungle meta right now too, because you have so much crit ADCs that you have to have another tank somewhere. The Gragas jungle allows you to do a little bit more counter jungling, I feel. All right, let's go ahead. We'll get some of the overlays going. Gotta go full screen. All right. Uh-oh, what happened to my overlays? Whatever. It doesn't really surprise me that we don't see either team electing to invade. I think the more competitive that you get, especially in a playoff like this, both teams would rather their win condition be a little bit more not of a gamble. Whereas if you're trying to do the 5-man invade early game, that's something that you do in flex or just normal draft, right? It's not something that you do in a lot of pro play. You can try it, but that's a pretty risky 50-50 in order to give a huge early first blood advantage over to another team. So it doesn't surprise me that both teams are electing to just keep some vision on the river and just go from there, basically. Sejuani's going to go ahead and start blue, and Gragas starting red there. I would imagine both are going to kind of work down towards that first Scuttle Crab. One big thing that I'm a huge fan of now after shoutcasting the Culver Stockton tournament is every time you start, you should be warding the pixel bush on either side of the river, just so that way then you can better track your enemy jungler. How's that, Kane? Is that better for you? You're welcome. Happy to help. West of Pier will invade every game. Well, risky play, Cotton. We'll see if it works out for you there, guys. Nothing overly out of the ordinary. Both junglers electing to go for wolves. Gragas did clear his raptor camp there. And we see that Sejuani is most likely also going to be going for his raptor camp. So both teams not doing any sort of counter jungling early on. But I do think that if I was Wilmot, I would be aggressive on this game. You don't want this Kog'Maw and Zoe to get towards that late game because that team fight is huge. Because even if you have that Yasuo engage, you have the polymorph available for the Lulu. And so the Lulu can really render basically the Yasuo useless in team fights. So even if you can try to get into that back lane, like Lulu just polymorphs you, and then the rest of Arrowhead's just going to be able to super see you down. So we're going to see the junglers meeting up with each other there. Sejuani's going to be able to go ahead and smite that Scuttle Crab and keep that vision over there. Sejuani's now going to go ahead and go up top and go ahead and get the red buff there. Darius is starting to push Mundo up under tower, and kind of as expected, Darius does have a little bit of a CS advantage, but we'll have to see how Mundo does up top there and how well he's able to last hit those minions under tower. Personally, that's probably one of the weakest points to my game, is just being able to know how many hits to get on those minions. Darius is going to go ahead and meet Mundo and Gragas here. Darius gonna be able to throw down quite a bit of damage. I don't think he's got Conqueror procs here, and now Gragas needs to be careful here too. There's a missed axe. The cooldown timers are gonna be there, and that's gonna be first blood going over to Darius. So Darius just kind of sidestepping the Q from Mundo and trying to just hold on and wait for those cooldowns to come out, and the patience pays off here. So Darius is also going to go ahead and get blue buff there off of the Gragas as well. So that's going to help a lot of waves sustain there in lane and going to keep that Mundo pushed up under tower. Meanwhile, bot lane still pretty even on CS. In the mid, though, we do see that Zoe is slipping a little bit here to the Yasuo, which again I think is pretty common, especially for early game. I would definitely give Yasuo the advantage here. But once Zoe gets another one of those items on there, she's going to be able to start dealing quite a bit of AP damage. I would assume she's going to go for the Luden's Echo. Sejuani just shows up bot lane to just go ahead and push off the Morgana and Ezreal off the wave. Yasuo going in, trying to do a little bit of trading here on the Zoe. Not able to get too much off of each other, but just enough. Gragas is going to go ahead and start to get the second wave of Raptors there. Do you see that first Drake is going to be the Infernal Drake, which is going to be a really, really important one for both of these teams, given the way that both of them drafted. I would say that's going to be a very high priority thing to fight over here. So we do see the Gragas is coming in, looking for the Zoe. Zoe's going to go ahead and get out, Yasuo drops the Ignite on Zoe, and I don't think it's going to be enough in order to secure it. Zoe's going to be able to just go ahead and get away by a very small hair on her head. So pretty good engage there in order to get some of that out of Zoe. Did cause the flash to be burned out of Zoe, so at the very least, you get a summoner down and you can look to come back pretty soon there if you're Gragas. Yasuo is going to go ahead and back here as well. Zoe elected to go ahead and get that tome and the mana crystal. She's going to have a little bit more AP and a little bit more mana for staying in lane. Yasuo, pretty standard, is going to go ahead and get the Berserker Greaves first and a control ward. If you watch me or if you watch this stream often when we're talking League of Legends, I preach every single time, if you leave base with 100 gold and you didn't buy a control ward, you're playing the game wrong, basically. Always buy a pink ward if you have the cash. Because you'll see too, a lot of the times in the pro play, the control wards help you set up vision around those neutral objectives. So looking at the Infernal Drake, this is going to be a huge one that both teams are going to want to fight over early game. And by rotating your control wards around there, you can actually give yourself priority in vision. So that way, then if the enemy jungler's going for it, if the enemy team's going for it, or at the very least, you're just able to keep a little bit more awareness of where their enemy jungler is. So 75 gold is always worth that. It's always worth knowing where the enemy jungler is. Watching the Darius up here, trying to go ahead and stand in front of that cannon minion so that Mundo wasn't able to go ahead and last hit it, but I do believe that Mundo was able to go ahead and secure that cannon minion. As we see that the Darius is just really freezing the wave, just last hitting, not spending additional mana, not letting that wave crash under tower, and really forcing the Mundo to come out and try to really work for some of this. As we see, both bot lanes have elected to back. Kog'Maw is going to go ahead and get that Bilgewater Cutlass, and Ezreal is most likely going to go ahead and get tier. There you go. So able to go ahead and get the 1 tier there, and is going to start farming that up, which is going to be really important for his damage. Sejuani is going into the blue side jungle there. Could be looking to try to steal away the blue there, which, there's no vision in there. But we do see that Gragas is going to start to go down. I do have to commend Arrowhead for the amount of wards inside the dragon pit there. Again, Yasuo is coming in. The cask barrel is going to go played up into the Zoe there as well. And Zoe's going to go ahead and flash away. The Ignite again coming down onto the Zoe. And she's going to be able to go ahead and get away again. So they're really trying to go ahead and get this Yasuo really far ahead, and they're doing a fantastic job there for Wilmot. Zoe is now able to go ahead and get the Lost Chapter, and smartly buys a control ward, because I would imagine that just kind of really tired of seeing ganks come in there in the mid. Sejuani's going to go ahead and try to push out some of this wave here, just so that way can keep the CS and avoid Yasuo from getting too many more of those turret plates. Does need to be careful though, because Yasuo is able to go ahead and put quite a bit of pressure. So I would really like to give credit to the Wilmot mid lane there, doing a great job. 30 CS ahead there in the mid lane. That's going to be huge. Already sitting on nearly 1,000 gold advantage in the mid lane. Yeah, I mean, you're right. The Gragas didn't need to, but, sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're like, yep, I got to get it. And you just really want that kill. So I don't blame him. I flash at the wrong times all the time. Sometimes I miss a flash over the wall and look really dumb. But Zoe is going to go ahead and try to go in a little bit here. Going to go ahead and deal some damage onto the Gragas. Yasuo is now coming in, and I think this is going to go ahead and be the final death there onto the Zoe. The Sejuani does miss the ultimate, but Sejuani under tower is going to be able to have a little bit of help from this turret. If he's able to go ahead and get one more Q onto the Yasuo, and we do see that the Gragas is coming in, and Sejuani's going to have to blow the flash. So this is doing a really good job of snowballing that mid lane there for Wilmot. They're playing a really good win condition here, and I would say that a win condition around a Yasuo mid is a pretty good win condition. The only issue that you're probably going to have to worry about there is once that Darius gets to that certain point there. Okay, Sejuani goes in. Going to go ahead and get the cask down here as well. The Sejuani is going to go down here, and that's going to be a kill going over to the Ezreal. And smartly played there by the Gragas and the Morg is they just let it up and let Ezreal get the kill. So again, really good job there from Wilmot, and now they have priority over this Drake. And I don't think that Arrowhead is really going to be able to challenge any of this just because... Oh, they are able to go ahead and steal it. The Kog'Maw dropping the R in the pit and is going to go ahead and be able to secure it. So well played there by Arrowhead going over to secure that. But now we do see that there's 3 members bot and Lulu is kind of in a very awkward position. Kog'Maw's trying to come and help push them off. The Morgana shield's coming out. Oh, that's a lot of damage coming down. There's a heal coming down. The flash coming out from the Kog'Maw is going to go ahead and secure the kill. Could be looking to go ahead and try to get another one here onto... Oh, the Lulu ultimate at just the right time in order to save her ADC. And the Zoe is going to drop the Ignite and get the kill onto Yasuo. That was a huge swing of events. I would say that's a huge swing in Arrowhead's favor. They're able to go ahead and close down some of that gold gap there. And the Drake there is fantastic. So really good turnaround played there. Darius has completed a Triforce. So although we haven't seen much action up top here, a Darius with a completed Triforce pre-13 minutes is a pretty big deal. So Wilmot's, I think they're going to have to really start to look to try to put a little bit more pressure and push these win conditions. You've done a great job so far on the Yasuo, but you really need to start pushing some of these other lanes ahead here. Because now that Zoe is getting really, really close to having that completed Luden's Echo, she's going to be a pain to deal with. As she does now have that second build item there into the Luden's Echo purchased. We do see that both junglers have completed their jungler item. Doesn't surprise me that both have elected to go with the Cinder Hulk there. Just wanted to make sure. And we do see that both ADCs do have their completed first item there. The Bork coming out there for Kog'Maw. That Morg range is a bit ridiculous. Kog'Maw is able to go in and deal a lot of damage now. Almost able to go ahead and get this kill onto the Morg. Not able to go ahead and do it. And we do see that Sejuani is now here in the mid as well. Going to go ahead and be able to go ahead and secure this. Not able to do it, but here comes the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. And does Zoe have enough? Yes, she does. And Sejuani holds back there and lets Zoe get the kill, and so now that's going to give lane priority over to Zoe. Correct. A Triforce in the beginning, but when you're as far ahead as he is, and again, another huge Lulu ultimate coming out there on the bot side. Sejuani is now going to go ahead and look to try to go ahead and get this kill onto the Gragas. Going to go ahead and give it. Oh, maybe not able to go. Oh, no! But the tower's going to go ahead and get the kill over to Sejuani. Sejuani was trying to play it right and give the kill over to Darius, but Gragas was just able to dash out of the way. So the Triforce is actually a really good item when you're 60 gold or 60 CS ahead in lane. You're correct, the Black Cleaver would be super helpful when he starts to have the armor built up. But at the time that he bought it, Darius had no armor against Mundo that he had to deal with, or that he needed to concern himself with shredding. So when you're that far ahead, the Triforce actually makes sense in that build situation, at least in my opinion. But I would imagine that the next item that you'll see Darius build is going to be the Black Cleaver. Again, so now Zoe has completed that Luden's Echo, so she's got quite a bit more AP. She's going to be dealing quite a bit more damage, and that gives her quite a bit more wave clear as well. So although she's down by 40 CS to this Yasuo, she's at least got a completed item, as where Yasuo only has completed boots so far at this point. Sejuani's coming in, trying to go ahead and put a little bit of pressure. Tried to steal that Raptor camp. Gonna go ahead and flash away. Really well done there in order to kind of predict where that was coming. But unfortunately, gonna go ahead and get the Morgana Q, and the Morgana Q lasts forever. So again, Zoe lands the snare onto the onto Gragas, but it's not able to go ahead and secure the kill because everybody was essentially blocking it for them. Ezreal and Morgana are here in the mid lane as well, so they're trying to take down this first turret. They're trying to go ahead and get the damage down, and it's going to go really, really low, but they see that Lulu's there, and they have to respect whether or not that somebody else has come down. Meanwhile, Kog'Maw is just going to go ahead and try to push this turret down. It's not going to have enough damage. I think it's smart to go ahead and retreat. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble go ahead and lands, and the around the corner bank shot here. The exhaust coming out from Zoe. Going to go ahead and drop it. Not going to be enough. Zoe going to be able to dash forward and get it, and she is able to go ahead and dash forward. Yasuo was almost able to go ahead and get away. Was really hoping that Scuttle was there, but the Scuttle's not quite up in order to be able to dash out of the way. Do you see that the second Drake is now up here, and it's going to be another Infernal? So again, this is going to be another really important one that both of these teams are going to try to fight over. So Darius does almost have his TP up. Mundo does have his TP up. So we could easily see this pulling into a 5v5 team fight. Arrowhead's trying to clear out this control ward so it doesn't allow them to go ahead and TP into the fight. Going to go ahead and make sure that we stay down here. Sejuani should be able to have this no problem. Is able to go ahead and secure it. So that's going to be another Infernal Drake going over to Arrowhead. So sitting here at 18 minutes, we have 0 turrets down, but Arrowhead has now made a comeback. They were down by almost 2k gold and are now actually about 1.2k up in this battle here. So looking a little bit at the gold advantages here, Darius is up by almost 1,800 gold up in the top lane. The junglers are pretty equal here. Zoe has actually brought the gold advantage for Yasuo down just a little bit here, of about 400 advantage now. Sejuani going in here, going to go ahead and get the freeze onto it, and Zoe is going to go ahead and get another kill onto the Yasuo. So doing a really good job putting a lot of pressure onto this mid lane. Zoe started off rough with a lot of pressure, and now again, once she hits that one item spike here, she's doing a lot more damage, has a lot more mobility in her kit, and is just able to go ahead and really burst down the Yasuo. Shout out to the jungler there as well. Sejuani there doing some really good engages. Able to go ahead and catch them out, and there's not much vision. If you look in the river there, neither team has a ton of vision in order to see when the enemy jungler is coming, and with how much engagement both of these junglers have played in this map, I'm really surprised that we're not seeing more vision coming out, more control wards in the river, just to track where the enemy jungler is. So again, this top lane matchup here is just a battle of the tanks in the top. It's pretty much all what Season 8 is. Again, the cast coming out, and this is actually going to be the kill going over to Yasuo. Well played there. Again, no vision in the river. Zoe's going down trying to clear out wards. Can't see who's coming. Gragas, Yasuo essentially get a free kill. So good job to Wilmot there in order to turn that misplay into something positive. They are able to go ahead and get a turret out of that as well. And the mid turret, some would argue, is the most important turret and really to open up a map. So allows you to do a little bit more roaming and pressure around the map. Yasuo and Gragas going to go ahead and get caught out here. The Zoe and the Lulu are here as well. So the Lulu has to drop the ultimate on herself. The Morg, the Kog'Maw's going to go ahead and flash around there. I don't think this is going to be a good fight here for Arrowhead. They just really should back off here and not be too greedy, and that's exactly what they're doing. Lulu somehow able to get out of that with very, very little health. So, good job there. We do see that, again, both ADCs have kind of hit that 2-item. I guess you call Ezreal is kind of like 2.5. Yasuo has built a Hex Drinker, which is really, really important these days with how bursty AP damage is being present in the mid lane. Again, Darius now elects to go with the Sterix Gauge. So Darius is going to be sending out a ton of team fight damage here. Elected to not even go ahead and upgrade the boots here. Darius is just saying, bring it. Just come close to me, let me hook you, Q, and I'm going to start dunking. And he's going to be dealing tons of damage up there in the top lane. Mundo's got the Swifties completed, so it does give him a little bit of additional mobility. It does kind of look like Wilmot is trying to clear some of this vision to give themselves a little bit of priority. Darius is going to go ahead and try to catch some of them out here. Going to go ahead and pull them out. Mundo's got to be careful here because, again, that's a lot of damage. And we're going to see Sejuani coming in through the back lane. There's the cast coming out. Darius going to go ahead and start to dunk. Again, look at that. That was like a third of the health bar there available. And Mundo's going to be able to go ahead and get away because of the Swifties. Allows for the additional mobility. We see that Lulu and Darius are now pushing up in the top lane here. Sejuani, so 3 up top here. The Ezreal ult just trying to come out to try to help push some of these waves. Not able to land, but that's going to push and make Wilmot rotate there while Kog'Maw's in the mid going up against a Morgana. So I'm going to go ahead and give priority there that if Kog'Maw tries to go in, going to go ahead and get it, going to go ahead and secure the turret, dodges the Morgana Q, and gets the objective in their favor. So Darius is starting to get quite a bit ahead there. Looking at the gold, sitting at about 1,300. So if they really wanted to, they could buy. Ezreal trying to poke down the Zoe that got snared there. Arrowhead did a really good job of pushing up the waves and are now got their eyes set here on the Infernal Drake. Darius, I think, is probably just going to try to sit on the edge of the pit there and going to go ahead and hold the Gragas in and able to go ahead and get the kill onto that and secure the Infernal Drake as well. The Lulu ultimate probably didn't need to be popped there, but I can respect why you did it. You wanted to ensure that if the team fight was going to come out, you have a super ultra beefy Darius in that dragon pit that, again, just says, like, come on in. The water's great. So it looks like Zoe's going to go ahead and back. She's sitting on about 1,800 gold there. Going to go ahead and buy a Void Staff. So now we have a lot of... There's no magic resistance right now other than the Hex Drinker on the Yasuo for Wilmot. Mundo is all armor at this point, as you can imagine, just sitting there up in lane against the Darius. So Sejuani does have completed the Abyssal Mask and is probably going to go for a Stone Plate next. In pro play, you see a lot of sometimes the prioritization. You get either the AP item or the magic resist item or the armor item, and then you rush Warmogs. Just so that way it gives you a lot more sustain in the team fight. So even if you can't prevent the damage, you can at least regenerate your health really, really quick. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was going to be probably one of the next items. Zoe is able to go ahead and drop the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and that's going to be half health for Mundo there, who's got no MR. So I think Wilmot's on the back foot here for this first game. Arrowhead stacked up 3 Infernal Drakes. But again, don't count any team out that's got a Yasuo with 3 completed items. So see the Gragas trying to push off. Just a lot of jockeying here for a little bit of wave priority. Both teams just pushing out. Yes, I completely agree. Ezreal should really buy QSS. Especially with that Zoe Sleepy Trouble bubble. You have the Sejuani ultimate there as well. Like, yeah, not a bad idea. Completely agree with that call there, Shadow Step. Item priority is so much different when you're playing in a 5v5 team composition than if you're just playing solo queue. So we do see that Darius is just kind of hanging out, waiting. Does have flash available. Do see that Zoe able to go ahead and really chunk down that Ezreal. Arrowhead could be looking to go ahead and try to make a team fight out of this. Zoe's going to try to land probably a Sleepy Trouble bubble. The flash forward from the Darius. Going to go ahead and go in here. The cast not in a good spot. Darius is going to start dunking on people here. The Yasuo ultimate does come in on him and is able to go ahead and shut him down. But Yasuo gets stuck in the back lane. Kog'Maw is able to go ahead and put the pressure down there and go ahead and secure the kill onto the Yasuo. That's going to be a 1-for-4 team fight there in Arrowhead's favor. And Arrowhead does have a wave here available, so it could look like that they're going for the ace. Are going to go ahead and get the ace and going to go ahead and crack open this base here. They have the wave. Most likely going to go ahead and start at least open this inhib, force Wilmot to push open the wave here. Or they're going to call it off, and then it looks like they're going to go ahead and go for Baron. Baron should be free here, looking at the cooldown timers. Ezreal ult is going to be up here pretty close. That he could try to do one of those snipes, but we'll really see how fast the Arrowhead is able to go ahead and shred this down. I mean, they do have a Kog'Maw, they do have a Zoe, and it's already sitting at half health, and the Ezreal ult is not going to be up in time, and that's going to be Arrowhead getting the Baron. Going to go ahead and back, reset. Do see that the next Drake is almost up here. See, Darius has completed some Merc treads. Zoe's getting really close to that Rabadon's hat. Kog'Maw has now finished the Rage Blade and the Runins. So gonna be shredding really, really fast here. Mundo looks to be probably going for a Spirit Visage there with, what is this item? Kindle Gem there. I would imagine that probably should have gone with the Cloak portion first for the magic resist. The cooldowns make sense and the health, but if you can't prevent damage with how much that Zoe's dealing right now. Yasuo has completed the Maw and the IE, so probably looking for another critical item there. Gragas needs to be careful here. Darius is not one that I think you still really want to go in, even if it's, well, I guess it's 1v4 in this situation, so you can do that. So, but that's going to go ahead and give Arrowhead the priority, and they're going to go ahead and secure a Mountain Drake. So, I mean, I guess that could go either way. I would probably go ahead and give the Mountain Drake a little bit higher of a priority than the Darius shutdown, but you're also preventing, another lane from being super pushed. So. It does look like Lulu and Kog'Maw need to be careful here. All of Wilmot is coming down to the bot side here to try to catch him out. Mundo with those Swifties is going to go ahead and be able to get them there. Lulu hiding behind a wall here. The Sejuani ultimate comes out and misses, so now Arrowhead is definitely going to want to have to back out of here. The Lulu going to go ahead and get caught out here, but it could be a noble sacrifice because Kog'Maw is just shredding down the Morgana into the back lane there. Morgana just gets away just barely. Zoe's coming down here as well, and that's not something that you want if you're Wilmot. So again, Darius is now up in the top lane with this Gragas. Gragas going to go ahead and have to dash away here, and the Zoe just comes out and just says, "Hi Ezreal, bye Ezreal." And so I think that's a Baron buff wave. They've got the Demolish. That's gonna be a tier 2 bot lane turret going down. Arrowhead is looking to push into the base here. Darius is split pushing at this point. Does have a completed Righteous Glory. So that's going to be really helpful with team engages against this Gragas and this Mundo. So, oh my goodness, look at how much damage that Zoe is dealing onto that Mundo, who has no MR right now. So that hurts, and that's quick. So do you see that Darius has now gotten the last tier 2 turret there, and Wilmot is basically in a turtle hoping for a team fight that goes in their favor. Baron buff has worn off. Again, Darius is just kind of stuck out here in no man's land. Going to go ahead and get caught by at least 3 or 4 members here, but it depends on how much that they really want to commit to this. Darius going to go ahead and go in now onto the Yasuo. Yasuo's now got to run for his life here. And now Darius is going to go ahead and mess around with Mundo. Going to go ahead and get this dunk, and that's, again, some serious damage. Go ahead and hook the Yasuo, and that's going to be a double kill going over to Darius. And Darius is now looking to go ahead and also crack in. Meanwhile, Arrowhead gets that first inhib. Darius is going to go ahead and be pushing this turret by himself. Looks like Kog'Maw and the rest are now coming up. They're going to go ahead and get that another base, and that's going to be a second inhib going over to Arrowhead. Arrowhead's got Wilmot on the back foot here. I think Arrowhead just really needs to back at this point and reset, get those item builds. They're all sitting on 2K to 1,500 at the minimum, basically. Get those item spikes and look to push to end. So it does look like they're rotating, though. They're going to go ahead and rotate to the bot side and try to get the third and final inhib and really put a lot of pressure onto Wilmot here. Pushing out 3 broken inhibs is going to be a nightmare. The Ezreal ult coming out. Gragas flashes in. The Darius does have a little bit of health regen here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The Kog'Maw is able to just go ahead and keep everybody at bay because you have to respect how much damage that the Kog'Maw is doing right now. Arrowhead's going to go ahead and get caught out here. Kog'Maw's going to go ahead and have to back the Sejuani's going to go ahead and push him out. The Lulu ultimate coming in. The Darius just going to try to dunk, but goes and gets CC'd. But this is still a very winnable fight here for Arrowhead, and if they're able to go ahead and finish this off, we are going to go ahead and see a victory here. The Kog'Maw ultimate coming down there. Sejuani's flashing forward to go ahead and get the Yasuo, and now all that's left is little old Mundo and Ezreal. And I think Arrowhead's got... No, Zoe's going to go ahead and go down, so that's going to be a huge swing in there. Correct. Now that you mention it, yeah, I don't notice another Zeal item. Meanwhile, the Winions are doing their job. They got the first turret down, and that last Nexus turret is just barely standing. Yasuo does elect to go ahead and build the GA. I can understand why that was purchased, but again, a Zeal item would be really helpful. Usually you see like Infinity Edge, and then Maw is situational, and then probably I wouldn't necessarily complete my Maw. I'd probably prioritize Static Shiv, so that way you get all the critical strike, you get the healing, you get the attack speed. Thanks, eSnake. It's just the lo-fi playlist on YouTube. It's just usually a little something in the background to have, so if I all of a sudden stutter or can't do anything, you at least get a nice little hip hop beat. So Arrowhead's going to go ahead and have the 5th and final Drake there, and now they're going to go ahead and look to just walk up to top and try to, at the very least, bait a team fight and go for Baron here. Wilmot does have a little bit warded in there. Arrowhead's going to go ahead and be able to clear all of that out, though. Zoe tries to get there and just bursts down that Yasuo. So now Yasuo's pretty much in the background. So Arrowhead elects to go ahead and just shred down this Baron, and there's going to be no contest from Wilmot on this team fight here. So Arrowhead's just going to go ahead and try to push up their waves, give them the Baron buff, and look to push to end the game here. That's a pretty big wave up on the top side with 2 super minions pushing towards the Nexus there. I would imagine Arrowhead is just going to prioritize this lane. They should be able to just kind of run it down here. Darius does have the dunk available here. Going to go ahead and see the hook coming in. The GA is popped on Yasuo already. There's going to be Darius snared here. Not able to do much. Darius able to go ahead and get the kill onto Morgana. Cog's going to go ahead and get the kill onto Yasuo. Gragas gets the Mog shut down, though. Zoe's trying to run away here. Mundo's trying to chase her down, but is not able to do it. And Arrowhead is going to go ahead and secure game 1 over in their favor. So, yeah, Triple Infernal's just dirty. At least this is a best of 3 series, so we are going to see Arrowhead gets to pick which side that they want to be on here. Looks like we're ready to go ahead and jump right in. And it looks like Arrowhead has elected to go ahead and go onto the blue side. So we are going to go ahead and just get started right away. I imagine that they are going to do a pro draft here, so it might just be a couple of minutes until we get this this match going. But so while we're waiting there, I do want to say a special shout out. So let's go ahead and flip these around here too. Again, this weekend is going to be the state championship. It's the first time we've ever done a physical state championship. So big shout out to everybody that's helping us here. So if you see in the bottom corner there, the bottom left, these are everybody that's been helping the community. We got Zach Zabel, our friendly State Farm agent, helping us out. We are Discord Hype Squad members, so we do have a little help from Discord with some stuff to give away. We have some pins and pop sockets and stuff like that. I know this one's hard to see, but Marian University did donate the money for us in order to get some trophies. So thank you, Marian University. We have 2 videographers coming. We have actually 3. We have Iris-Based Studio, and then we have the Kamakawa Productions that's also coming. They're going to be shooting videos, interviewing some students, stuff like that, making hopefully a hype video for us to showcase in the future. Big thank you to Gravity Gaming. I'm going to have to rework that logo so it shows up a little bit better, but Byte Speed or Gravity Gaming was super helpful. They have a bunch of like esports computers that are spec'd out specifically for esports, so they're trying to get into schools to help you guys get the best equipment possible. So big shout out to them as well. We have a lot of volunteers coming to help us as well, so super thankful for everybody that is helping. So all right, it does look like Baraboo and Clinton just got underway too. Yeah, correct. Arrowhead is probably not going to be able to go to state because I found out from their advisor today that he is not able to advise them, and we need a school representative to be there because it is a liability issue if you don't have anybody from your school there. So unfortunate. We found out from Cedarburg yesterday too that they might not be able to make it because they have 2 students that are apparently traveling internationally. Because their spring break starts on Friday. So it's unfortunate, but you know, it happens. So 2 seconds, gotta let out the hounds. BRB. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll run a giveaway. So I'm going to go ahead and give away another skin. So it's just going to be a random skin. So if you want to be entered to win at the end of this game, just go ahead and type !raffle in chat, and we'll go ahead and try to give you, we'll try to see if you can win a free skin there. So feeling generous today. I really enjoy playoffs, so appreciate everybody that's been participating all semester. Do really appreciate how flexible a lot of you are with scheduling and stuff like that. I know it's not always the easiest, so just note it's really appreciated that your flexibility is nice, especially given the amount of cold days and snow days and all that good stuff. I mean, I have about 2 inches of snow outside my house right now, so the fact that you're playing at school right now in this weather, super thankful. Yeah, why not? Why shouldn't there be giveaways? I got one of those adult jobs, and I have sometimes some money that I can throw around, and why not give away some skins? That's a great question. As far as a snow day tomorrow, I've proposed it into the board members. I'm saying if your school has a snow day, you are allowed to play at home, because we don't have any really rescheduled dates, and I'd like to know who's able to go Saturday, and not have you use that Friday to make up games. So, but I mean, who really could have predicted that on April 10th that we would be having a snowstorm that could potentially drop 5 to 8 inches. So, again, we got to be flexible with this. It's the downside to running a physical tournament too. I'm going to be trying to work next year because UW Stout just announced that they are investing $100,000 into an esports program. UW Whitewater's working on getting it to be recognized as a varsity sport there as well. Marian University has a club. Northwestern Technical College is actually hosting a tournament on Saturday as well. So as more of these colleges start to promote these programs in the state, we should be able to host like little weekend regional invitationals. So we could always do the Whitewater Esports Invitational and invite the 6 or 7 schools that are within a 30-mile radius of Whitewater and host a little tournament down there. And same for UW Stout, which means we need more schools in the western and up Northwoods part of the state. So if you got any friends that live on the western side of the state or northern part of the state, tell them to get this started in their school. I would be happy to help. So Lacrosse Central is actually on my list. I've been talking to somebody at Lacrosse Central. So I do know that we have some members in the Discord channel. So Lacrosse, you're on my map. Trying to get you guys going. I just talked to, there's Lancaster High School on the western side of the state. I've talked to Southwestern High School on the western side of the state. I want every school in Wisconsin to be able to offer this to their students. So this should be in every single school, but maybe that's just my opinion, right? Yeah, it does. It there's so many people even from traditional sports too that are playing. Like I think some of Milton last year, they had an issue that like 3 of their starting players were on their varsity basketball team. It's amazing how many students that this hits. Like, I mean, I know some people aren't super fond of Fortnite, but Fortnite took our school by storm, and everybody was playing it. Even myself was playing it. So, and I know there's definitely stuff too that we need to improve upon to make it easier for students to participate. If keep this in mind too, that 2 years ago, in the like 4 semesters ago, we were just starting, and we had 7 schools and about 75 League of Legends players. And now today we have 4 different games that we're featuring. We have 31 different schools from across the state participating, and there are nearly 700 students participating this semester in the Wisconsin High School Esports Association. Next semester, looking at my list, I have 70 schools on my emailing list right now about getting involved. So in 2.5 years, we'll have gone from 7 schools to nearly 70. Like, that's insane. That it's growing so fast that it's, you know, we have a hard time sometimes keeping up with everything. So again, thank you for everybody that is able to go ahead and be flexible with this. All right, so it looks like they went ahead and already did their picks and bans. So I didn't see a link to the pro draft. So it looks like the Kog'Maw is going to go ahead and go over to Wilmot this time with an Alistar in the bot lane, Vygar mid lane going against a Corki, and they let the Vayne Morgana go over to Arrowhead. So I think, you know, Hearthstone's really interesting because as somebody, so when I was in high school, I was sponsored by the local comic shop and traveled the Midwest playing Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, all those big card games. Hearthstone's interesting because it's very pay to win. And right now I'm waiting. I was watching it all day at work today to see how the new expansion goes. But, you know, from what it used to be like 3 or 4 sets ago, it was so much RNG that I don't think that you could actually make an esport out of Hearthstone with what it had become. Shortly after like the introduction of Yogg and stuff like that, like that was a huge swing to the game, and you couldn't actually play. Like you had so many random numbers that you had to deal with that it could work out in your favor. It could totally bite you in the butt. So I'm really waiting to see what Hearthstone is going to do. I think the new Magic the Gathering online card game is really good. Dude, competitive Pokemon, the trading card game, used to be huge. There would be like 500 people in a tournament down in Indianapolis. Like, imagine like the bottom of like the Bradley Center or the new Fiserv Forum, like the entire Bucks basketball arena filled with card tables, filled with people just playing Pokemon. It was ridiculous. Um, Super, super fun though. And Magic the Gathering is still really, really huge as far as competitive card games go, but so again, if you just joined the channel, or if you haven't noticed with all the chat, there is a raffle going on. So all you have to do to win a free mystery skin in League of Legends, just type !raffle in the chat and be entered to win. So figured we can give away a little something something today. So yeah, like I said, I'm just waiting to see what the competitive scene looks like this year. Because I mean, you saw a lot of like the top pros leaving. Like, I'm not seeing Crypt play very much anymore. I saw what Tice or whatever playing today, but like Disguised Toast isn't really playing Hearthstone anymore. So if I start to see some of like those big name pro players coming back to it, then I know that the game is healthy for competitive play. Oh, trust me, I have about $250 invested into my Hearthstone account. So, yeah, I'm familiar with the game quite a bit. That's actually what I started playing before I played League of Legends. So that was really my introduction into esports, basically. So Wilmot's pinging. It looks like 4 of them are going to go ahead and potentially go for the invade here, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead and block and watch the river there. Again, every competitive match that I've watched, you don't see this like this 5-man invade or kind of cheese plays. It's not exactly not very sportsmanlike, but oh, I didn't know Crypt just streams later, but yeah, but I would say the streamers are the face of the game itself, though. Content creators are huge as far as the impression that the game gets, how popular that the game is. I mean, could you imagine what would happen to Fortnite if Ninja stopped streaming for it? Like, the only reason Fortnite is still within like 130,000 viewers every day is because Ninja and Tim the Tatman are playing Fortnite together. So if they didn't have those guys playing, that game would, in all honesty, probably be dead in popularity. And I think the hardest thing too with adding more games is like I have students email me basically every day asking about like CSGO. I've had a Clash Royale request. I've had, TF2 was requested the other day. World of Tanks has been requested. It's hard to find games to offer that are popular at all schools, because I think that's one of the hardest parts, is to figure out which games aren't just a niche game at your school and which ones are popular across the entire state. Like, personally, I would love to try to get like some FIFA or Madden action in there. Like, as the NBA 2K19 league is starting today, I think it would be huge if we could pair up with the Milwaukee Bucks. and and work something with them. And I'm sure they would happily have us like at their facility if we had an NBA 2K19 league or whatever. So trying to find some of those fine lines it's a challenge, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, the M rating stuff, like as somebody that played Counter-Strike from the very beginning, like I don't personally see an issue with it, but as somebody that's taught in education, I can see where the issue is. Like, unfortunately, the current state of our society, some schools have a hard time even getting Overwatch into their schools. So, and that's very cartoony. So, nice little trade there by Vigar onto the Corki in mid. I'm kind of happy to see this Lee Sin pick coming out. I think that's a really good amount of engage from the jungler, which I think the Gragas did a great job last time, but this is way more of an offensive engage, as we see that Lee Sin is coming up here to the top. Akali's just going to go ahead and use her Dusk Shroud there to try to get away here, and just kind of dance around. Might be able to go ahead and get away here, but I think it's going to be close. Lee Sin flashes for it and is going to go ahead and be able to go ahead and secure that kill. So first blood going over to Wilmot. Yeah, I agree. It'll be there someday. Right now we're doing a lot of groundwork to try to educate community members, parents, and stuff like that esports is a positive. We're trying to show you that you're not just sitting in the basement playing video games. Like, you're out, you're learning teamwork, leadership, communication, time management, responsibility. Not to mention, too, if you want to, help next year, you could do graphic design, social media marketing. You could do shoutcasting or broadcasting. Like, there's so much that you could do and work this into a positive in your school that we just have to convince people that it's not necessarily just video games. There's so much positives with everything that you're doing. So don't worry, I'm in your corner. I'm fighting for you guys. So I guess you guys and you ladies, not to pick just one side there. So got to promote those ladies in gaming as well. So overall, pretty solid match. Just going back and forth here. Both teams do have a bit of a late game team composition here. Again, depending on how much that Corki gets ahead there in mid lane, I think that could be a real big issue for Wilmot. That Corki, the quick draw Stevie is pretty good on that Corki. We see Lee Sin's coming down, but is going to go ahead and get spotted in the river there by that good ward. Akali starting to get a little bit of a CS advantage over the Shen, but that makes sense. Shen's just going to go tanky. Elected to go ahead and buy the Merc Treads first when Akali, in the beginning, is a little bit more AD heavy, is where she'll start to build the Hex Tech, the Proto Gun, and stuff like that. So those Merc Treads aren't going to come in super handy right now, but they will come in handy, especially against the Morgana, and against the Corki. So do you see the Lee Sin coming into the backside here? The condemn there by the Morg, or sorry, by the Vayne, and then the shield coming out from Morg in order to prevent some of that additional Alistar damage as well. So Akali does have her ultimate up here. Shen gonna go ahead and kind of dance around here. Akali starting to get even more of a CS advantage here. So other than that, everything is pretty equal across the board here. The only advantage right now that Arrowhead has is up in the top lane, and I would still even go ahead and give the advantage over to Wilmot right now. Sorry. Given the fact that Lee Sin has a 1 kill advantage. So that's able to give him a little bit of an advantage in the jungle matchup and allowed to do a little bit more pressure in the lane there. So do you see that Vigart does have completed the Lost Chapter and bought 2 control wards? So gold star to Vigart there. Corki's looking to go ahead and probably first build the Triforce, and Corki bought a control ward too. Oh man, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of everybody right now. Arrowhead's going to go ahead and shove this wave. I imagine that Vayne and Morg are going to go ahead and back. Vayne's sitting on nearly 2k gold. Although the Kog'Maw doesn't have much as far as, even if Kog'Maw was to back, Vayne's got about a 200 gold advantage right now sitting onto that Kog'Maw. You know, I completely agree. Vision wins games. And that's going to be another kill going over to the Lee Sin. Another assist up there for the Shen. If you watch a lot of the pros too, like their vision score by 20 minutes is like 45, 50. So, I mean, even as a support, I think by 10 minutes, 12 minutes, you should probably have a sweeper. So that way you can help keep your lane safer. And not to mention, it's basically some free gold if you're able to just go ahead and get rid of like 1 or 2 wards. That's 60 gold right there. That's basically another control item in order to go ahead and give you vision priority in your lane. So, do you see that Corki's starting to roam down? Wilmot will know. It looks like Corki's just going to go ahead and get some vision in the pit there. So, good use of that pink ward there. Do you see... Vygar's doing a really good job of hitting these snares, so I definitely like the Vygar pick right now. I'll be curious once Corki really gets the package and how much damage is able to come from that. Especially with the Sejuani, able to really go ahead and lock down the Vygar as well. It's the only downside to Vygar, especially right now with no boots. Like, that limited mobility, as you can see that Sejuani is trying to come in behind here. Do you see that Sejuani is going to go ahead and find Lee Sin? Lee Sin's going to go ahead and dive onto him there, but nothing's going to come of it. The Akali is down here as well. We see that coming down. The Akali is going to go ahead and try to get down there and deal the damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Corki just misses. The Shen ultimate comes out. Oh, the Sejuani's just going to go ahead and dive right in. The Corki's going to go ahead and have to dive right out there. I think this is going to be a kill going over to the Vygar, and the Akali's just going to go ahead and get stuck there. The Akali's going to go ahead and try to get onto it, and is able to go ahead and get the kill onto the Vygar. Shen is going to go ahead and most likely be able to secure this kill onto the Akali. The Akali uses the Dusk Shroud in order to try to get away here. Going to go ahead and get shut down there. So Shen is doing a fantastic job up there in the top lane. Despite being down by CS, which he's closed the gap now quite a bit here, doing a fantastic job in this condition up there. Corki again now has the Phage completed, so is going for the Triforce build there, so going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage. But really, the win condition for Arrowhead is going to be this bot lane. So they're going to really need to get ahead. The Akali's good, but the Akali is basically picked to get to the back line there in order to get to that Vygar. So both of these teams kind of have interesting win conditions or way that they are going to try to engage team fights, right? Vygar is going to try to go ahead and drop that cage and try to get that kill, so to try to snare as much of Arrowhead as they can. And we see that Arrowhead is trying to look for a little bit of a team fight here. Corki's got the package, and it's just going to go ahead and use that package in order to try to get away. But again, here comes the Sejuani, trying to save his Corki there. Drops the ultimate, does hit the Vygar, which is where you want to hit. But it's just going to be a trade of some ultimates. Corki's going to go ahead and have to back. So that's going to go ahead and give Wilmot the advantage over this Drake here. But again, it's not a super important Drake, so I can't imagine that there's going to be a ton invested in this for Arrowhead. Like, you can try to go for it, but I don't think it's a 50-50 Drake that's worth diving for. So again, we see the Lee Sin trying to go in on the Morgana here. The Morgana drops the stopwatch there, tries to get away but is not able to. And we see now Vayne is going to try to 1v5 here, but not going to go ahead and have the damage. The Sejuani's down here to go ahead and help. Corki is also down here. Going to go ahead and try to get the kill. The Kog'Maw is going to go ahead and get the kill. Corki is now going in onto the Kog'Maw. The Sejuani's going to go ahead and able to go ahead and secure the kill onto that. Sejuani's going to go ahead and go down to the Shen. The Shen is now on a killing spree and is sitting at 3-0-4. So that's a pretty beefy Shen there. Again, not a stupid, sorry, I don't know why I tried to say stupid, but I meant to say solid team fight there from Arrowhead. But they're going to go ahead and get, I think they're going to get first tower out of this, the way that Akali is able to go ahead and push the wave. Although, yes, the Tiamat is not exactly super common here, it does help give the pressure. Bayport just won 2-0 over Waterford. Congratulations to Bayport. That's a big win for them. They from last semester, a lot of their team, I believe, rotated to their Overwatch team. So this Bayport team that we're seeing this semester is a lot different than we've seen in previous semesters. So good for them, able to secure that playoff win over Waterford. I'll have to double check the bracket here in a minute, but and who they'll be placing. Sejuani is able to go ahead and get the go-ahead and the ultimate onto it. Trying to go ahead and get this kill onto the Veigar, but not going to go ahead and have it. And now here comes Lee Sin to spoil all the fun. So great jungle pressure there by Wilmot. Able to go ahead and make sure that his mid laner is able to go ahead and back away and stay alive. Akali was able to go ahead and secure that top turret there. She's going in onto the Shen again here. Morgana's going to go ahead and get caught off in kind of a weird situation. Vayne is coming down to the backside, going to try to go ahead and land this Condemn. Does have the ultimate available. There's the kill going over, but we need to be careful down here because the Puppy is able to go ahead and deal some damage. That's going to be a double kill going over to Vayne, and Akali was able to go ahead and secure the kill onto Shen there as well. I apologize. I'm trying to flip around the map here as I have a puppy on my lap. And that's going to be a turnaround kill there for the Akali onto the Lee Sin. Well played by the Akali up there in the top lane. That's going to be a nice swing going into Arrowhead's favor. Akali able to go ahead and do it with the Tiamats. Huh. What would you know about that? Do you see that Akali elects to go for the Triforce build here? Again, not a build that I'm super familiar with. I'm used to seeing Akali go with the proto gun and stuff like that first. But that's also when she plays mid lane, so I'm not super familiar with how she's supposed to play. Quick draw Stevie gets the 1v1 kill onto the Veigar into the mid lane. He also has completed that Triforce, and that item spike there, that's, I think, for me, when I'm playing, one of the hardest things to recognize is to constantly check to see what item build that my opponent is. Like the second that they get back to lane, I need to make sure that I'm checking to see what they're building. So once you hit that item spike there as Corki, you're able to do a lot of damage, and especially same with Akali too, though. So starting to see a bit of a swing here for Arrowhead. They were able to go ahead and now take the gold advantage and tie up the kills. So despite giving up first blood and feeding that top lane Shen there quite a bit, they've been able to go ahead and turn this around. Yeah, I agree with you, Shadow Step. The split push composition works really well for Arrowhead. Their top laner there is usually able to get... he's really good. I've seen him do at like a perfect 300 CS multiple times on Vlad. So his laning is really, really solid. So if you just let him sit up in the top lane and farm, he's going to get ahead and he's going to get an advantage somewhere. As we see an engage here, and Corki's going to go ahead and come into the back lane with the package, and we see Akali's trying to get out there, but she's going to go ahead and get shut down there by the Shen. It looked like the Kog'Maw was going to be close to go ahead and get the kill, but not able to go ahead and get that. That does give priority for Wilmot, though, in order to go ahead and secure Shelly, but it's going to go ahead and cost him a Drake. But again, it's not an overly important Drake. And we see that Vayne, that's unfortunate, walked right into that Vygar cage, and Vygar's like, QER, bye. So that's unfortunate. But they are going to go ahead and be able to get Shelly here. They're going to go ahead and give it over to Shen. I think that's smart to give it to Shen because Shen, with that global ulti, is going to be able to put quite a bit of pressure around the map. This Lee Sin is trying to put quite a bit of damage down onto Sejuani. But the problem with doing that is when you're so aggressive like that, you know, you have to know that they're just delaying. Like, Sejuani could have easily just dashed over the wall to try to get away, but elected to go ahead and stay and let you keep pushing a little bit of pressure on him. And Lee Sin, all he saw was KDA and didn't think Akali's coming from the back. And that costs Wilmot. Gonna cost them a kill. Yeah, but it might not necessarily be that it's just their tanky team composition. It requires them to answer into another lane. So you're not going to have the taunt from Shen coming in, because if you do, that means Akali's basically going to get a free tower and a free push. You send Kog'Maw and Alistar up there, okay, that's fine. So now your main damage and your main tank are basically stuck in a side lane that they can't push objectives. You send Vygar up there. Akali's still pretty okay into the Vygar. But again, there's your snare and your burst ultimate are now occupied in a side lane. So split pushing team compositions are really effective, especially from what I've noticed at the high school level, just because when you're playing a lot of solo queue, you don't draft for split pushing compositions. Like when you're playing solo queue, you see... Yeah, sure, you see a Tryndamere split pushing composition, and you instantly know that you're going to have to answer that with a split pusher of your own. But a lot of the time in composition, you're going to see a lot of, oh, we're going to 5v5 team fight this all the time, whereas Arrowhead is drafting to force you to split, and they could easily split you like they are right now into a 1-3-1. You send the Vayne split pushing one side, you send the Akali up another lane, and then you have Corki, Sejuani, and Morg to push together in the mid. And I'm going to go ahead and take the CC train of Corki and Morg, and then let Corki just, or you know what I mean. And then you go ahead and let them do that. So it's a team composition that is hard for a lot of I don't want to say students, but just depending on what your elo potentially is and like how you play. Like drafting for team compositions isn't usually a strong suit. So Morgana here caught out into the snare there. Good push there. Use of Shelly not able to go ahead and secure any objective there, but they did get that turret quite low. Arrowhead is going to go ahead and try to push everything into mid. We do see Sejuani's coming as well. We do see that, no real big ultimates were used there by Wilmot in that team fight. So that's pretty good in their favor there. Akali is kind of sitting here on the backside. Morg at half health, and we do see that Vygar is backing. So I think if Arrowhead wants to push this would be a good time to go ahead and push it. The Vygar backing really leaves Wilmot kind of disadvantage right now. So do you see that they are coming back into lane? We do see that Sejuani is here. Corki is here as well. Vygar will be here quickly. So if Arrowhead's going to go ahead and do something here, kind of now is their opportunity for a 5-man, especially with Shen being up top. Shen does have his global ulti is up though. Corki's going to go ahead and take a quick little burst damage there as Vygar does have completed the Luden's Echo, the Magic Pen Boots, and the first portion of that Rabadon's cap. So again, we're just seeing a lot of kind of jockeying, pushing out waves, trying to get the CS. Both teams are looking like they're trying to force late game here. because right now, if you overcommit on a team fight here, you're going to allow the snowball to work in your other team's favor here. So it looks like, oof, that was a close Morgana Q, just narrowly missing that Vigar. Do you see that Vigar is now here, trying to push, gets the Vayne. The Akali's kind of caught out here. The Condemn coming out there as well. So we're going to see quite a bit of pressure here. The Kog'Maw is pressured here by the Vayne. I don't think the Sejuani is going to be able to get out. The Vayne's going to go ahead and get kicked into the line there. Akali tries to go ahead and get some of these kills here. We're going to see quite a bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough. And Corki and Sejuani left to die. Sejuani's trying to get out. Alexa not go necessarily just for the tower. And that's going to be a double kill going over to Shen. So Wilmot doing a fantastic job here. Again, that Lee Sin pick is proving to be something that Arrowhead can't deal with there. So much better team draft, I think, this time out of Wilmot. They're using it a lot more effectively than last game. The Vayne just got pinned there by that Lee Sin kick. That was fantastic. Taking Vayne out of this team composition is really advantageous to Wilmot. Like the second that you can get a kill out on them, Shen trying to come over, going to be really close here, and Quick Draw Stevie is able to go ahead and get the kill going over onto the Alistar. They are able to go ahead and secure it. The Corki's able to go ahead and use the package to get away. Morgana Q just missing the Lee Sin there. So that was close too for the Lee Sin to, or the Corki from getting the kill there. Vigar is just able to go ahead, has that cooldown there on those abilities, and is just able to really spam snares and spam those Qs and Es. So it's a huge pain in the butt. But again, Arrowhead using this kind of, now they're kind of focused on a 2-2-1 composition here, pushing the waves. They have the advantage when when Wilmot is split apart like this. As you can see here, Lee Sin's won't go in on these together. And Vayne and Morg have pushed up bot lane. Akali's got the top lane pushed up. And again, the advantage for a lot of this, if it's 1v1 or even 2v2, I would say the advantage goes over to Arrowhead. So looks like Arrowhead's Vayne and Morg just kind of waiting to see where on the map the rest of Wilmot shows up. And Vayne and Morg, again, they waited for this wave, and now they're going to go ahead and push up. Because if Wilmot elects to go ahead and just 4-man dive under this turret here, it's going to cost them at least one turret. And so now you see that Wilmot's got to go ahead and push off. And now you're going to have 3 members of Arrowhead in the mid able to go ahead and push. Morgana is able to land the Q onto the Lee Sin, so that way Vayne and Morg can go ahead and get away. See some of the members of Arrowhead trying to get into the jungle here. They're going to go ahead and catch out the Lee Sin. They're going to go ahead and get them down. Vayne and Morgana going in on this combo here. Vayne's going to go ahead and probably be able to tumble forward and get the kill. Able to go ahead and get the kill. Sejuani's going to go ahead and rotate over here to the bot lane turret as well. And that's most likely going to go ahead and be another turret going over to Arrowhead. But Vigar is here. The Shen ultimate coming out. Not able to go ahead and secure it. But the Vayne just able to go ahead and try to put a little pressure. But Vigar pressed R and able to go ahead and get the kill. But again, these team fights are causing Wilmot to rotate. And I would say Arrowhead is doing a better job of rotating. So yeah, vision score there's quite a disparity there between the supports there. I completely agree with your vision wins games. I'm right there with you. Like I said, if you leave base without a control ward and you have 100 gold, somebody should get to slap you upside the back of the head, because that is vital. Especially as it looks like both teams are starting to try to look for a Baron play here. Wilmot's cleaning out the vision in the Baron pit, and they are electing to go ahead and start it. And I don't think that Arrowhead is going to be able to do much here as Akali is trying to come up behind here, but they could just be trying to do the old bait here. And we do see that Morgana is able to go ahead and get them off. Baron is going to go ahead and reset here. So nothing wasted. Both teams able to go ahead and get out. Yeah, I agree it's a risky Baron call, especially with all 5 members being up for Arrowhead. And Morgana able to go ahead and land one of those Qs. Corki's got an IE and a Triforce built, so going for an AD crit build. And so that should be able to go ahead and shred quite a bit here. And as this little poke battle continues, I would give that into the favor of Arrowhead with the Morg Q just having a super ridiculous poke range. As she's going to try to probably throw something over the wall here. Going to go ahead and have to shield herself. She does drop really, really low there. Almost dies. Little friendly smack talking going on there in chat there. Lee Sin almost drops there, but we do see that Vayne is able to go ahead and get into the back, and it condemns the Kog'Maw onto the wall, and Arrowhead's able to go ahead and turn this quite into their favor. Veigar has to use the cage in order to get away, but that's going to go ahead and give Arrowhead priority over the Baron pit here, and they are looking to go ahead and go for it. But again, the issue is Lee Sin still in the back there. Lee Sin could pull a Lee Sin play. Even though Lee Sin is super low, could be willing to try to go for this 50-50. I would imagine that Arrowhead's going to try to leave it at about 2,000, and here they go. They're going to go ahead and secure it over. And so Arrowhead is going to go ahead and have the Baron buff. See, Lee Sin, yeah, being super low on life, but if you're going to go ahead and just let Arrowhead kind of sit and work on that, you should definitely have tried to prioritize this Mountain Drake. As you see that Arrowhead is now rotating down, they have Baron buff, and they have priority now over this Mountain Drake, as Lee Sin's going to have to back because they waited too long. So it looks like a little bit of a skirmish kind of going over here. Again, Arrowhead's going to try to hope that this Veigar pokes its face out a little bit too much so that way they're able to just go ahead, CC train them down. The Mountain Drake's going to go ahead and reset. Corki does have package available. The Condemned coming out. And we're going to see the team fight. And into the back line, Akali goes. She's going to try to go ahead and burst down the Kog'Maw. Able to go ahead and do that. And again, now they're going to go ahead and try to look and try to get onto this Veigar here. It's going to be a 2-for-1 trade there. Vayne going down, so that's a lot of damage for Arrowhead now missing. But it is also the entire bot lane for Wilmot that has gone down. So Arrowhead's looking to go ahead and clear this out. Probably going to go ahead and try to get to this Veigar. Veigar trying to play a dangerous game here. Akali is able to go ahead and split push that forces Shen to go top. And Veigar's got to back up because you're Veigar. You're not going to 1v3 this fight here, especially with Baron buffed Arrowhead. So Arrowhead now secures another Drake in their favor. I would say probably a little bit of a better Drake, especially for sieging with the Baron buff. That Mountain Drake is going to be extremely helpful. I am really excited Saturday night. I see you guys going back and forth in the chat. I'm really excited to see the level of competition. I'm really excited, especially for Division 2. I think it was really great to see multiple teams come out as strong as you guys did. Between Tosa, West Depeer, and Whitnall as well. So like, really impressed with the level of competition that came out of Division 2. I know sometimes dividing schools is tough like that, but we try to do it on competitive equity. So if there's time on Saturday, I'd love to let Division 1 play Division 2 and see who the supreme ruler is. So So Arrowhead trying to push again. Akali split pushing here, able to go ahead and push up this bot turret there. Meanwhile, all of Wilmot's really playing aggressive here, trying to go in, trying to get this Corki. Corki stuck alone in the bot lane or out on the backside of this team fight here. Lee Sin with another fantastic kick. Again, flashing forward. Vygar presses R by Sejuani. I can only imagine that I'm going to go ahead and hear. I can hear Arrowhead's jungler complaining about pressing R to win. But again, there's another issue there for Vygar, just shredding that Vayne. Akali's just pushing down on this inhib, and now they've had to send 2 members in order to deal with this Akali. And Akali's she's got the damage. I think she might be able to actually just kind of sit here and just kind of keep messing with them. Morg doing her best. Got kind of a bit of a base race going on here. Akali's able to go ahead and secure one of these as well. Good job studying. Academics are important too. Again, this game has been extremely back and forth. Arrowhead has stretched to a 4K gold lead, but as we continue to get to this late game here, the Akali's doing a really good job of split pushing at this point. Shen has been really involved in the team fights, as Shen is 7, 1, and 8. That's a ridiculous Shen right now. So doesn't even have to build AD, just able to go ahead and just dive into team fights and is doing just fine. Does look like has the Tiamat, so most likely going to go with one of the, was it the Titanic Hydra, I believe, is what Shen usually builds when ahead like that. So Lee Sin is probably going to start to fall off just a little bit here as he's working on building the, I'm guessing that's going to be a Dead Man's Plate given his current item build. So, but again, Arrowhead needs to be really careful here with some of the way that they're not respecting this Vygar and the burst ability of it. Thanks for coming here, Consensus Twitch. Definitely too. So, kind of one of those shameless plugs here, but you know, if you do have that Twitch Prime available, feel free to go ahead and use it on this channel. That's appreciated. I don't make any money off of this. It always goes back to everything that we do. I'm hoping next year that we are able to offer some sort of scholarships. So hopefully this Twitch channel gets quite a bit more in views and stuff like that. So that way we can actually offer an esports scholarship next year. So Vayne is able to go ahead and get the shutdown there. Meanwhile, Kog'Maw, Vygar, and Alistar are here on the back, just shredding down some of these turrets. And Shen's going to go ahead and stop the backs by Akali and Vayne, and I think that's going to go ahead and be the game there, going over in favor of Wilmot. So game 2 going over to Wilmot. Nothing that Arrowhead can do right now. And that's going to be a 1-to-1 matchup now. So congratulations to Wilmot with a back and forth game like that. That was well played there by both teams. Really could have gone either way on one of those team fights. So as we're about to go ahead and get into the third and final game here, we'll go ahead. Again, you have the opportunity, if you want to go ahead and if you want to type in !raffle in order to get in. I'm going to go ahead and close the raffle here in just a minute. So if you want to make sure that you get in before I pull a random skin winner. right, going to go ahead and close the raffle here. So of our 5 participants, congratulations to Juana Keegan. Go ahead and message me on Discord, since I know you're on Discord, and I will make sure that if you play League, I know you're a Rocket League player, so if you're available, if you play a little bit of League of Legends, I'll go ahead and gift you a free skin there, bud. So if you don't know, Juana Keegan is going to be helping us out up there at the state championship. He's going to be doing some shoutcasting for Rocket League for us. So his Twitch channel, he does a lot of shoutcasting for Rocket League as well. So big thanks to Juana Keegan for helping us out, for volunteering your time. Really appreciate it. Waiting to see if we're about to go ahead and get into game 3 here. They may be figuring out the, bathroom breaks and stuff like that. So goodness. Do me a favor too, for those of you watching, make sure that whatever this is called, whatever that is called, is school appropriate. So when we're streaming on Saturday, that you have nothing embarrassing there. And make sure that it's school appropriate, whatever's there as well. So it sounds like Arrowhead is running into an issue. So Arrowhead's mid laner does have to work, so Arrowhead may have to forfeit game 3 here. Since we don't have the ability to reschedule our matches, because, well, I mean, if Arrowhead can't participate in the semifinals anyways, you can always reschedule, because Wilmot will go ahead and move on to Wausau West. However, unless Arrowhead is able to find somebody, so unless Arrowhead is able to find somebody from their school in the next day that is able to go ahead and chaperone or advise them, they won't be able to make the semifinals in Fond du Lac anyways. So Team Liquid or Team Solo Mid. Honestly, I don't really like either one. I think both have been really, really hot this season. I think TSM is considered to be the underdog, which I usually try to root for the underdog in most situations, but I really don't like the way that TSM have played. So I guess I'm going to go with Double Lift and Jensen and hope that Team Liquid wins. I see you, Bubba. I'm sure you're ready for dinner here. I'm almost done. Yeah, you're a good boy. So sorry, as we're sitting here, I am talking to Wilmot, and so they are not able to reschedule for tomorrow. So Arrowhead is going to have to forfeit Game 3, and Wilmot will move on to the semifinals and will be playing against Wausau West. So I will see you tomorrow. If you're interested, I will be doing another stream tomorrow. If you're interested in Rocket League, Not Your Parents' Basement is also streaming the Rocket League, as well as Juana Keegan's channel has been streaming some Rocket League as well. So if you're interested in that, please check that out. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. And if we don't see you tomorrow, hopefully we see you in on Saturday. And have a good night, everybody. Peace. I know it is sad. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So have a good night, everybody.